As a reminder, if you have questions for the candidates, please give them to the sponsor volunteers who are circulating through the room. And I want to mention that there's a basket in the back on the floor near that door that has some hand fans in it. If you get warm and you want to go back there and get one, please feel free to do so. Actually, I think Joan is going to hand those out. So hold your hand up if you want a fan. Candidates will now have 90 seconds to respond to this question prepared by the forum co-sponsors. Our region's unemployment rate remains high. How would you work as a member of City Council to help lower unemployment and create jobs? And we will begin with Mr. Waring.
The first thing we want to do is encourage an environment for corporations to come here. I don't think that we should have corporations that want to do business in the city of Charleston, for example, be sued like the cruise industry. It's happening to Carnival right now. So I support creating that environment. I bring an experience chairing the South Carolina Jobs Economic Development Authority, doing the Hodges administration. It's an arm of commerce that gives the incentives or helps put together the package of incentives to bring corporations in, like Boeing, for example. I also, like Bill Moody, chair the Charleston Metro Chamber of Commerce, and that record is entrenched. So if you want to go and find out what kind of performance that's been, I invite you to go to the Chamber website and look me up. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Alexander?
Well, I plan to continue to work with the City Council and the administration on several initiatives. We work very closely with the South Carolina Research Authority. We have two technology incubators in the city of Charleston, Flagships 1 and Flagships 2, which have recruited over 60 companies with an average salary of around $80,000. That's what we've done now. We are on the precipice, this city, of doing very great things right now. We are developing in the area around the Johnson Haygood Stadium, a project called Horizon. At Horizon, it will be a knowledge-based industries hooked up, linked up, if you will, with the Medical University, biomedical technologies. So what we've done is we have planned and plotted out our future to bring to the city through incubation centers, through working with the state of South Carolina, through development with the Medical University, to bring those type of businesses that will have great jobs for our kids once they graduate. They won't have to leave the city. And also attract, as we saw in the paper, the brain power from across the country. And that's what's happening today, and that's what we'll continue doing. Thank you.
Mr. Alban?
I think the chief way that we're going to get jobs in this area is by making sure that we have strong services and safe communities. We need to make sure that education is a priority, make sure our teachers in the area are well paid, make sure that our schools are in good repair, and make sure that our police have the funds that they need so they can properly make sure that everyone is safe. Also, our firemen, they do a very difficult job. They need to have the full compensation that they deserve to do that job. Having those things in place, having that basic structure in place, is what will get companies to come here when they know that it is a safe, strong environment for their people to work in. Also, of course, tourism is very important, so we need to make sure we keep a clean environment, make sure that we do things that make the city stay beautiful and strong for generations to come.
Thank you. Ms. Beck?
The best way to bring more businesses to Charleston is to make it easy for them to be here. And so my primary point with that is that we need to smooth the process for them. We need to make sure the fees are as low as they can be, make sure the red tape is cut through so that they want to come here instead of locating someplace like North Charleston or Berkeley County. And we also know that local jobs, local businesses, the money stays here in our economy more so than jobs from afar. So my next point would be to try to foster the local businesses. I think the local movement that we've seen in District 11 in the Avondale area, for example, and the Terrace area are great and have been great for our community and for our economy. So creating new jobs by getting new businesses here, hopefully more local and small businesses, and making it as easy as possible for them to locate in Charleston would be what I would do. Thank you.
Mr. Bragg.
Thank you. Let me go back to this idea of a business incubator that I mentioned a little earlier. The Charleston Digital Corridor has 4 different districts where they try to get technology businesses to locate. If you look at the map on the website, you'll see a whole bunch of pretty colors over the peninsula, because that's where those districts are. There's one out in Cainhoy too. West Ashley and James Island are colorless because there is not a dedicated information technology district for that area. I would love to see the city dedicate a specific building so that small businesses that were in the startup phase could have some space, could share some computer technology, and could share some ideas that happen when you have people come together from different job areas. I think that would do a large amount to help small businesses get a little leg up. The second thing that I think we need to do as a city is to come up with a comprehensive long-term plan. Now more than ever, with the announcement that the mayor's only going to be in office if he's elected for 4 more years, I think the city of Charleston really needs to pull together as a community to bring together a plan that incorporates infrastructure, jobs, economic development, education, and all sorts of areas, much like it did with its green initiative. Thank you.
Mr. Moon.
Thank you. I've really spent my entire career creating jobs. There's really 3 things you need. You need an educated workforce, you need capital, and you need infrastructure, utilities, water, sewer, roads, and that kind of stuff. So if my effort would always be to push those things. If government can do those things, if we talk about digital corridors, we talk about a lot of stuff like that, but we've got to have capital, so we've got to bring in those people. We've got to fix the infrastructure. We've got to work on our schools. And I know that's something else, but I've done this. I've worked on it for the regional development alliance. I helped set that up. We were fighting base closure at the time. I was very instrumental in that, so I know what it takes to create jobs, and I know that I can help in that situation.
Thank you. Mr. O'Brien.
Creating jobs is not the obligation, nor should be the duty of the council. Council's duty to create an atmosphere that is fiscally stable for our community. And it is not right now. In the past year, the administration has voted on 2 projects totaling $300 million, of which over $160 million are not accounted for. We don't have assurances that we're going to receive that money. This is at a time when we have less than $30 million in general obligation bonds that we could put out. We're counting on $71 million in donations. I've talked to the foundation executive director, and I'm not sanguine that we're ever going to get that amount of money. But we are on the hook for the Gilead for $142 million. And if you look at the budget, you'll see that it's, talk about gerrymandering. There's 4 different ways that we're trying to pay for that because we can't pay for it in bonding capacity. So we have a problem that we could be facing in the next 4 years. We have 41 employees in the police and fire department that have been paid for by the federal government, which looks like it's not going to happen. We have 55% of our property taxes, which are paid for by franchise fees, etc., based on the economy. Also, 55% paid for by largesse from the federal government going, largesse from Columbia going, and if we have what looks like we're going to have a double recession, many of those fees that we have to support what we're doing now are going to be gone also.
Thank you.
So we have to take care of business at home.
Thank you.